Dear students, we are studying the chapter Chemical Thermodynamics. In one of the lectures, I took lecture, but I did not share my PPTs with you. I don't know what happened actually. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you the same topic, but with the help of PPTs. Let's hope everything is fine this time. Let me give 2 seconds or a few minutes to share my PPTs with you. Okay, students, we have seen about thermodynamics and we have learned about what is chemical thermodynamics. And right now, we have to start from the terms which are used in the thermodynamics. There are three important terms which are used in the thermodynamics: system, surroundings, and boundary. Actually, these are the basic concepts of the thermodynamics. To understand more about these terms, you have to learn one mathematical equation which is given on the slide at the bottom. See carefully, you have to learn it. The mathematical equation is the universe is equal to the system plus the surroundings. What it means? System and surroundings combine to form the universe. Or in other words, if some part of the universe is system, then remaining part of the universe is surroundings. Even you can say the system and surroundings together constitute the universe. Okay, by using these discussions, we can define system as well as surroundings. Let's move to the next slide. What is a system? This is the question. What is the answer? A system is the part or portion of the universe which is under thermodynamic consideration or thermodynamic study. A part or portion of the universe which is under thermodynamic study or thermodynamic consideration. Suppose we are doing thermodynamic study of a chemical reaction between 20 ml copper sulfate solution and 1 gram zinc powder. Then 20 ml copper sulfate solution and 1 gram zinc form our system. Student, system may be large or it may be small. System may contain one substance, it may contain two or more substances. Now we will see what is the surroundings. Surrounding is the part or portion of the universe other than the system. सिस्टम की छोड़ के जो कुछ भी बचता है यूनिवर्स का क्या होता है सराउंडिंग्स. You go back to the first slide. On this slide, you will find one sentence that helps you to understand about the surroundings. The surroundings include everything other than the system. Okay, now see the slide. On this slide, two parts of the universe are shown: system and surroundings. But see carefully, around the system there is one dotted line, That dotted line is shown as boundary. So obviously, question arises: what is a boundary? The answer is the real or imaginary wall between system and surroundings is called the boundary. सिस्टम और सराउंडिंग को सेपरेट करने वाली, अलग करने वाली जो वॉल होती है वो वॉल है बाउंड्री. Once again, listen. The real or imaginary wall that separates system from its surroundings is called the boundary. Okay, now we'll shift to the next slide. On the basis of exchange of energy and matter, systems are classified into three categories. Here, base is important. What is the base? Exchange of energy and matter. We have learned about energy in one of the lectures. Even we have seen different types of energy. And what about matter? We have learned what is matter in 11th standard. Matter is anything which occupies space and has mass. जो चीज स्पेस ऑक्युपाई करती है, जिसको मास होता है, वो यानी मैटर. फॉर एग्जांपल, वाटर वेपर इज मैटर. Water vapor is matter. Why? Because water vapor occupies space and it has mass. So on the basis of exchange of energy and matter, systems are classified into three types: open system, closed system, and isolated system. First question is, what is an open system, or which system is called open system? Listen, a system which can exchange both energy as well as matter with its surroundings is called open system. जो सिस्टम अपने सराउंडिंग के साथ एनर्जी और मैटर दोनों का भी एक्सचेंज कर सकती है, वो सिस्टम है ओपन सिस्टम. Energy can go from system to surrounding or from surrounding to system. Similarly, in open system, matter can go from system to surroundings and surrounding to system through the wall, that is through the wall. Okay, now second type of system is closed system. Naturally, question is, what is a closed system? Listen, a system which can exchange only energy but not matter with its surroundings is called closed system. जो सिस्टम में सिर्फ एनर्जी का एक्सचेंज होता है सिस्टम और सराउंडिंग के बीच, लेकिन मैटर का एक्सचेंज नहीं होता, वो सिस्टम है क्लोज्ड सिस्टम. व्हाट अबाउट द आइसोलेटेड सिस्टम? The definition of isolated system is a system which can exchange neither energy nor matter with its surroundings is known as isolated system. Students, we'll go to the next slide. Next slide explains the same thing, but in different words. Students, words may be different, but meaning should be same. Here you will find equivalent word for matter is mass. Just to recall, what is the statement of law of conservation of mass? The statement is matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. So equivalent word for matter is mass. आप मैटर की जगह पर मास भी वर्ड यूज कर सकते हो, वही यहाँ पर किया हुआ है. So on this slide, once again it is shown that classification of system, but in different words. I'm reading this slide for you. Open system. one in which both energy and mass cross the boundaries of the system. Closed system, one in which mass does not cross boundaries of the system, though energy may do so. What about the isolated system? One in which neither mass nor energy crosses the boundaries. Same thing is given, but in different words. So when you are studying like this, your concept will be more clear. Okay, now see the next slide. Suppose you have given a question, and in this question, you have to ask to write 3 yes words and 3 no words at the proper places. See on the screen, you will find there are 3 yes words and 3 no words. Suppose they are not given, and you have to write yes and no words at the correct proper places. When you write, when your understanding is correct, when your concepts are clear. Okay, now see the headings for the extreme left hand side column. What is the heading? System type. There are 3 systems: open, closed, and isolated. For the second vertical column, heading is exchange of mass, or we can say matter. For the third vertical column, heading is exchange of heat. Heat is one kind of energy. Exchange of heat energy. Now, see for the open system. In open system, both energy or heat energy and mass or matter exchange in between system and surroundings. Therefore, for both places, for exchange of mass and exchange of heat, you have write yes word. Now go for the closed system. In the closed system, there is only exchange of heat energy, and there is no exchange of mass or matter. Therefore, for the exchange of mass or matter, you have to write word no, and for the exchange of heat or heat energy, you have to write word yes. And what you write for the isolated system? Once again, listen. Isolated system is a system in which system does not exchange energy as well as mass or matter with its surroundings. In isolated system, system does not exchange energy as well as matter with its surroundings. So no exchange of mass, so no what will be there. No exchange of heat energy, so no what will be there. So such applied question will be asked in the exam, even in the competitive examinations. So you have to prepare nicely. Now we'll go to the next slide. Here one applied question is taken and explain the same thing. Suppose our system is hot water. Now our hot water system is taken in open mouth metallic vessel. Then what we will observe? System can exchange from hot water system. Water vapor can go from system to surroundings through the open mouth. It means there is exchange of water vapor, that is matter. Heat energy can go from hot water system to surroundings through the metallic wall. Metallic wall conducts heat. So when hot water is taken in open mouth metallic vessel, we will find there is exchange of both energy and matter in between in system and surroundings. Therefore, hot water system in open mouth metallic vessel is an example of open system. Now see the B diagram. Suppose we have taken hot water system in closed and metallic vessel. Here, water vapor as matter cannot go from hot water system to surroundings. Why? Because vessel is closed. But heat energy can go from hot water system to surroundings through the metallic wall. So here there is only exchange of energy, but no exchange of matter. It means hot water in a closed metallic vessel is an example of closed system. Now see the C diagram. What is written on the vessel? Isolated system. Some diagram is somewhat different. Why different? Because the walls of the vessel are insulated. Suppose they have taken hot water system in the closed as well as insulated vessel. Let walls of this vessel are insulated. And what we will observe? There is no exchange of water vapor as matter in between system and surroundings. Water vapor as matter cannot go from system to surroundings. Why? Because vessel is closed. And heat energy cannot go from hot water system to surroundings. Why? Because walls are insulated. When any wall is insulated, heat energy cannot go through that wall. So hot water in a closed and insulated vessel is an example of isolated system. I think you are getting me. I will go for the next slide. Students, pressure, temperature, volume, mass, number of moles, density. These are the familiar properties of the system. Refractive index, surface tension, viscosity are also other properties. All these properties of system are called thermodynamic properties. They are also called measurable properties. Why they are called measurable properties? Because we can measure them. These measurable or thermodynamic properties of system are divided into two categories. Some are extensive properties and some are intensive properties. Suppose question is, what is an extensive property? What is an extensive property? Which property is called extensive property? Then answer your correct is the measurable or thermodynamic property that depends on quantity of matter present in the system is called an extensive property. जो थर्मोडायनामिक या मेजरेबल प्रॉपर्टी सिस्टम में की क्वांटिटी ऑफ मैटर पे डिपेंड होती है वो यानी एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी. When quantity of matter in the system increases, mass of the system increases. When quantity of matter increases, number of moles increases. When quantity of matter increases, volume increases. What it means? Mass, volume, number of moles are the extensive properties. Now, I am going to tell you 4 extensive properties. For the first letter is E. Energy, enthalpy, internal energy, or only energy, enthalpy, entropy, and electrical resistance are also the extensive properties. In all, I have told you 7 extensive properties: mass, volume, number of moles, energy, entropy, enthalpy, and electrical resistance. You can add other properties also. So do the Google search. You will get other extensive properties. Now, next question is, which property is called an intensive property? Which property is called an intensive property? कौन से प्रॉपर्टी को इंटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी कहा जाता है? इसका आंसर क्या होगा? आंसर इज the measurable or thermodynamic property of system. The measurable or thermodynamic property of system which does not depend on quantity of matter present in the system is known as an intensive property. सिस्टम की ऐसी प्रॉपर्टी, थर्मोडायनामिक प्रॉपर्टी जो सिस्टम के अंदर जो क्वांटिटी ऑफ मैटर है उस पर डिपेंड नहीं होती, वो है इंटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी. फॉर एग्जांपल, टेम्परेचर इज इंटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी. You may ask question, why temperature is intensive property? So I am explaining you. Listen carefully. Take 10 ml cold water in plastic bucket and measure the temperature. Note it. Immediately take one glass of cold water and once again measure temperature. Note it. Then take only one small beaker cold water and immediately measure the temperature. What you will find, every time temperature of cold water is same. What it means? It means temperature does not depend on quantity of matter. Which are the other intensive properties? Pressure is intensive property. Density is intensive property. Refractive index, surface tension, viscosity are the other intensive properties. When you can add other properties, so for that you have to do the search. You search, you will get other intensive properties also. Okay, I'll go for the next slide. What is given on the slide? State of a system. So first question is, what is a state of system? What is a state of a system? The answer is when all measurable or thermodynamic properties of a system have definite value, system is said to be in a particular state. जब सिस्टम के सभी मेजरेबल या थर्मोडायनामिक प्रॉपर्टी को एक डेफिनेट वैल्यू होती है, तब वो सिस्टम एक पर्टिकुलर स्टेट होती है. Listen once again. When all measurable or thermodynamic properties of a system have definite value, system is in a particular state. Can system change its state? The answer is yes. System अपना state बदल सकती है. Next question may be, when system changes its state, system अपना state कब बदलती है? When system changes its state. Listen, answer. When value or magnitude of one or more properties change, system goes from one state to another state. जब एक या एक से ज्यादा थर्मोडायनामिक प्रॉपर्टीज की वैल्यू बदलती है, सिस्टम एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट जाती है. क्वेश्चन इज, व्हेन सिस्टम चेंजेस स्टेट, आंसर इज when value or magnitude of one or more properties change, system goes from one state to another state. Let's hope you are getting it. Now we'll go for the next slide. What is a state function? W question is given on the slide. What is a state function? Students, state function is nothing but a thermodynamic property. State function is nothing but a thermodynamic property. Which thermodynamic property is called a state function? Listen carefully. The measurable or thermodynamic property of system which depends only on initial and final states of the system and does not depend on path followed by the system to go from initial state to final state is called a state function. स्टेट फंक्शन यानी ऐसी थर्मोडायनामिक प्रॉपर्टी जो इनिशियल और फाइनल स्टेट पे ही डिपेंड होती है, लेकिन इनिशियल स्टेट से फाइनल स्टेट जाने वाला जो पाथ है उस पर डिपेंड नहीं होती. बस लिसन once again. Equation is what is a state function? Answer should be must be a measurable or the thermodynamic property of system which depends only on initial and final states of the system and does not depend on path followed by the system to go from initial state to final state. Now, which are the familiar state functions? Pressure, temperature, volume are the familiar state functions. Students, listen to the interesting part. Volume is state function, but it is extensive property. Pressure and temperature are the state functions, but they are the intensive properties. Pressure, temperature, volume, all three are the state functions. In the same chapter, we have studied about internal energy. Symbol is U, capital U. Enthalpy, symbol is H. Entropy, symbol is S. Gibbs energy, symbol is Z, capital G. Entropy, enthalpy, internal energy, Gibbs energy, all are these state functions. Why? Because they depend on initial and final states of the system, and they do not depend on the path followed by the system to go from initial state to final state. We'll go for the next slide. Since state function depends only on two states, initial state and final state, we can find change in state function by using the two values of state function, one at the initial state and other at the final state. To understand this, take one example. Suppose A indicates initial state and B indicates final state. Suppose T1 is the temperature at initial state and T2 is the temperature of final state. Temperature is a state function. Therefore, we can find change in temperature. How to find T2 minus T1? What is T2? Temperature at final state. What is T1? Temperature at initial state. So, change in temperature is T2 minus T1. And this change in temperature is shown as delta T. Delta means difference between two temperatures. So, change in temperature, that is delta T is equal to T2 minus T1. Here, there is one important thing. While finding the change, always we have to take value of state function first, and first value of state function at the final state. Then we have to subtract value of state function at the initial state. Repeating once again, while finding the change in state function, first take the value of state function at the final state and then minus or subtract value of state function at the initial state. Let us take another example. Value is also state function. Volume is also state function. Therefore, we can find change in volume. How to find change in volume? V2 minus V1. What is V2? Volume at final state, and V1 is volume at initial state. How to show change in volume? Delta V. So in this chapter, we have to keep in mind, number 1 is for the initial state and number 2 is for the final state. When there is P1, you have to understand P1 means pressure at initial state and P2 means pressure at final state. Suppose you have to find change in pressure. Pressure is a state function. Therefore, we can find change in pressure. How to show change in pressure? Delta P. How to find delta P? Change in pressure is equal to delta P is equal to P2 minus P1, where P2 is the pressure at final state and P1 is the pressure at initial state. We have to use this part in the further part of the chapter. So this is the important part, don't forget. Now, on the next slide, you'll find the heading is path function. What is path function? Path function is nothing but the thermodynamic property. Now, which thermodynamic property is called a path function? Or what is a path function is the question, and answer is path function is the measurable or thermodynamic property that depends on path followed by the system to go from initial state to final state. Path function is the measurable or thermodynamic property followed by the system to go from initial state to final state. Initial state से final state जाने वाला जो पाथ है उसके ऊपर जो thermodynamic property डिपेंड होती है वो यानी path function. I'm telling you now two important path functions: work and heat. W is the symbol for work and Q, capital Q is the symbol for heat. Work and heat or W and Q are the path functions. The question is why W and Q are path functions? What is the answer? The teacher will expect the answer from you is since W and Q depend on path followed by the system to go from initial state to final state, or we can say from one state to another state. Okay, we'll go for the next slide. See, there are two questions, but the upper question is not the part of our syllabus this year. Some part, 20% part of the syllabus is deleted. So don't learn that question. We'll go for the second question. What is a process? This is the question. What is a process? Your answer should be transition or operation by which system goes from one equilibrium state to another equilibrium state. The operation or transition by which system goes from one equilibrium state to another equilibrium state. Here we have to think about the chemical operations. To double the volume is one of the chemical operations. Reduce the temperature by 20 degrees Celsius, it may be another chemical operation. केमिकल ऑपरेशन जिससे सिस्टम एक इक्विलिब्रियम स्टेट से दूसरे इक्विलिब्रियम स्टेट में जाती है वो यानी प्रोसेस. सो व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस? ऑपरेशन और ट्रांजिशन बाय व्हिच सिस्टम गोज फ्रॉम वन इक्विलिब्रियम स्टेट टू अनदर इक्विलिब्रियम स्टेट. There are different types of systems. So there are different types of process. In our syllabus, 6 types of process are given: isothermal process, adiabatic process, isobaric process, isoporic process, reversible process, and 6th one is irreversible process. Now we have to learn this process one by one. First, we are going to learn about isothermal process. Again, the question is which process is called isothermal process? What is the definition of isothermal process? The process or a process in which temperature of system remains constant throughout the change is called isothermal process. Isothermal process में throughout the change system का temperature constant रहता है, unchanged रहता है, बदलता नहीं. So what is the isothermal process? A process in which temperature of the system remains constant throughout the change. T is constant. T is a symbol for temperature. T is constant. Therefore, all temperature readings are same. Temperature is a state function. So how to find change in temperature or delta T? Change in temperature or delta T is equal to T2 minus T1. But T2 and T1 both are same. In isothermal process, all temperature readings are same. Since T1 and T2 are same, delta T is 0. So what is the essential condition for isothermal process? Delta T is equal to 0. Internal energy is one of the thermodynamic properties of the system. It is shown by letter U. U is the symbol for internal energy. U, that is internal energy, depends on temperature. So whenever delta T is 0, delta U is also 0. T and U both are the state functions. So whenever delta T is 0, delta U is also 0. Repeating once again. Which process is called isothermal process? The process in which temperature of the system remains constant throughout the change is called isothermal process. T or temperature is constant, therefore delta T is equal to 0, and whenever delta T is 0, delta U is also 0. The question is, for which process delta T and delta U both are 0? Your answer should be isothermal process. Okay, now we go for the next slide. What is an isobaric process? If this is the question, your answer should be a process in which pressure of the system remains constant throughout the change is called isobaric process. Pressure of P is constant. Pressure is a state function. Therefore, delta P is equal to 0. Why delta P is 0? Because P2 and P1 are same. In fact, all pressure values are same. Delta P is equal to 0 is the essential condition for the isobaric process. Okay, now see the next slide. On the next slide, at the top there is one double equation. What is an isobaric process? What should be your answer? A process in which volume of the system remains constant throughout the change. V is the symbol for volume. Volume does not change. Volume of the system does not change. All the values for volume are same. Volume is a state function. So how to find delta V? Delta V is equal to V2 minus V1. But when V2 and V1 both are same, what will be the value of delta V? Delta V will be 0. Since volume is constant, delta V is 0. So delta V is equal to 0 is the essential condition for isobaric process. Some extra part is also given on each slide. You have to read that extra part to clear your concepts and to prepare for your competitive examinations. Go for the next slide. Adiabatic process. Here we have to stop after the definition. Now, which process is called adiabatic process? Suppose this is the question. What is an adiabatic process, or which process is called adiabatic process? The answer should be a process in which there is no exchange of heat energy in between system and surroundings. अगर हीट एनर्जी का एक्सचेंज सिस्टम और सराउंडिंग के बीच में नहीं होता होगा तो प्रोसेस क्या है? एडियाबेटिक प्रोसेस. इन अदर वर्ड्स वी कैन से adiabatic process is the process in which system does not exchange heat energy with its surroundings. Even we can say adiabatic process is the process in which heat energy neither enter the system nor leave the system. There is no exchange of heat energy between system and surrounding. No absorption of heat energy or no release of energy from system. What it means is Q is 0. Q is the symbol for heat or heat energy. So for adiabatic process, what is the essential condition? Q is equal to 0 or heat is equal to 0. Thank you very much. We are going to stop.